Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Got the D-Man here, and I'm glad you could join me today. It's a beautiful sunny spring day in St. Louis, Missouri today. The birds are singing, and the air is beautiful. Hope it's great in your world wherever you are today. Okay, today's topic is going to be appearance and, let me see, judgment. No, that's not the word I want to use. Well, let's start out with appearance. I'll try to think of the word for the second topic. Well, it's kind of a topic intermingling. But I'm going to give you an example of something that happened to me. About a month ago, I was at my son's baseball game. And there was this good looking girl there, and my daughter went over and sat down on the bench by her. And of course, I was standing behind my daughter, and I started talking to this girl. She looked like she was about, I don't know, middle 20s, maybe late 20s, maybe early 20s. I'm not sure. But anyway, we had a great conversation. She was really good looking. I thought, man, she's somebody, an American girl that I might want to go out with. She had been living in China or Japan. I think Japan, she told me. So she had traveled some. Anyway, I left. Didn't think too much more about it. I thought, well, I'll see her again next time I go to the ball game. So he got rained out 2 or 3 times, and then we went out there one night, and I was talking to my son. He was supposed to play ball, but he wasn't. But they were all there, and the other team forfeited or something like that. So I talked to him for a few moments, and I was leaving, and I was with my daughter, and my daughter said, "Hey, there's that girl over there." And I said, "Where?" I couldn't see her, and she was way over on the other side of the ballpark. And then I seen her waving at me, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I see her." So I just waved and walked onto my car and left. I didn't think too much about it. She went out of her way to make sure I saw her. So to me, that indicated interest. Okay. But I thought, I'll see her sometime. So last night I went to the ball game. Sure enough, she was there. She was quite a ways away from me. And I was talking to my son there, and then she moved over closer to me at a table with some other women. And she was dressed like a typical American woman. At least typical American women dress around here. Extremely casual. A pair of shorts, some t-shirt, I think it had some writing on it. She had her hair pulled up. I don't think she had any makeup on, and a pair of tennis shoes. Okay, it's like when I first met her, she was dressed really sharp. She stood out. And this time when I saw her, it was like, I didn't want to talk to her. My interest dropped from maybe an 8 to a 0. So I don't think women understand here in the U.S. how important it is to dress nice. And men too. You guys need to be sharp. When I go out in the evening, I'm sharp. Now when I'm working during the day with my construction company, I dress appropriately. I wear painter's pants. I have a shirt with my company name on it. I wear a uniform, basically. Carpenter's pants, whatever you want to call them. And because that's the attire for the kind of work I do. I look the part. But when I'm out in the evening, I dress nice. I wear a pair of dark jeans, usually black jeans. I have a pair of blue jeans. I have a really nice pair of boots. I got them from Portugal. No, let me see. Yeah, I got them from Portugal. They were made in Italy. They're really sharp. I wear a jacket. I have a nice shirt on like I have on now. I look good when I go out. Now, when I was raised up, that's the way people dressed. They didn't go out the way they dress now, at least in my area in the Midwest and many other parts of the U.S. Now, I know what everyone says, you shouldn't judge people by their appearance. Well, whether you should or whether you shouldn't, everybody does. When I travel, I wear a jacket. I usually wear a tie. I wear nice shoes, nice pants, slacks, khakis, or a dark pair of jeans that look like dress pants. And I get treated differently than if I wear normal casual clothes. And most people don't dress the way I do. You stand out. And that's what you want as a man. You want to stand out. You want to be high status, then dress appropriately. Your appearance is everything. Okay, now once you start talking to someone, appearance matters less. But first impressions, you never get a second chance to make first impressions. Very important. How you hold yourself, your posture, how you walk. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about appearance, but it is important. Look in the mirror. Do you look like the kind of person you want to be? Do you want to be high status? Do you look like a high status man? Do you walk like a high status man? Do you present yourself like a high status man? Now the other subject, which is somewhat congruent with this one, is I don't really know how to put a name on it, so I'll just talk about it. Here's the deal. A man and a woman meet. Yeah, it's about dressing and appearance and taking care of yourself. Okay, you meet a woman and she meets you, right? Okay, so both of you are on your best behavior. Let's say you're meeting for a date, or if people still go out on dates, I know they do. Now, you dress nice, you look nice, you hold yourself appropriately, you walk tall, you try to give your best impression. And she does too. She comes there, she dresses nice, hopefully. She fixes her hair. Maybe she has a little makeup on. I know that's somewhat unusual these days. Okay, you meet the girl, both you guys hit it off pretty good. You start dating regularly and you fall in love. And then you decide to get married. Okay, let's say when you get married, you have a job and you're making, or you're self-employed and you're making $100,000 a year. And, you got a good future ahead of you. She knows you're going to take care of her and the kids, if you have kids. She knows you can support, provide, and protect for the family that you're going to have when you two get married. Okay, so, and she comes into the marriage, she's looking good to you. She's like an 8 or a 9. She takes care of herself. She goes to the gym. She puts makeup on. She fixes her hair. She fixes her, she keeps her nails done. She does her nails. Okay, and she always dresses nice when she's with you. I mean, except for maybe if you two go to the gym, then she dresses appropriately. All right, so you guys get married, right? Well, let's say you started out making $100,000 a year. Let's say in about 6 months or a year from then, you lose your job and you're at a job making $50,000 a year. Okay, and then the next year you lose that job, the one for 50, and then you're making $30,000 a year. Okay, she's going to start looking at you with less respect and not quite the prize that she married. I mean, unless you had some medical condition where it was really beyond your control, she's going to think, man, did I marry a loser or what? And rightly so. She had this idea of you, and you presented that to her, of what you were going to give her and what you were able to do for her as a man, which is your job as a man. Okay, so there's a real good chance that she may start looking around for someone else, and justifiably so. Okay, and I don't think too many people would argue with that. If you're going nowhere, why is she going to stay with you? Why does she want to have kids with you? You're going downhill. In another couple of years, you may not have a job. How are you going to support her and her kids, or your kids? You're not going to be able to do it. And what kind of an example are you going to set for your children? Is she going to feel safe and protected and provided for, staying with a man like you? Probably not. So she's more than likely going to leave you. And you probably wouldn't argue with her decision to do that, would you? Hypothetically speaking, looking at it in the future. Now, if you were in the middle of it, you would argue with it because you don't want to lose her. Because she has maintained her looks, her appearance, her value in your eyes. That's why you liked her. That's why you were initially attracted to her, because of the way she looked. And then after you met her, her personality. But her personality and her looks are congruent. They go together. What happens is, it's like when people let themselves go. it's not just that their body appears not as maybe you like it to appear. It's an attitude that goes along with that, an attitude of low self-respect. If a person respects themselves, they take care of themselves. Most people take better care of their cars than they do their bodies and their appearance. Why is that? Because the car has value to them, but their body, which is a miraculous, let's say, machine, entity, whatever you want to call it, is given to them for free. But the car they had to work for. They had to try to find the one they liked. They had to get the loan, or however they had to go about to get that car. Okay, so that's what happens. That's the man. He lets himself go. Now let's turn it around to the woman. Okay, she starts letting her, we got somebody outside. She starts letting herself go. Okay, she doesn't wear makeup anymore. She doesn't dress nice. She starts gaining weight. And you start looking at her with less value than you did when you met her. And rightly so, unless she has some kind of a medical condition and it's out of her control, like she got hurt in an accident, she can't work out, or she can't take care of herself. That's a little different. But I'm talking about someone who's normally healthy and can do something. She starts letting herself go, but you're still making the $100,000 a year. You're still providing and being the man that you were when you met her. And actually you are progressing, okay, instead of degressing. Now you will start to devalue her. You will start to look at her as a less valuable person than when you met her. Now I'm not talking we're all valuable as human beings, but the bottom line is this: men are attracted to women for their looks and their appearance and attitude. And when a person starts letting themselves go, there's an attitude change that goes along with that. Actually, the attitude change precedes the outer appearance diminishing, let's say. I'm not talking about age. I've seen men that age very good, and I've seen women that have taken care of themselves that are 40, 50, and 60 years old, and they look sharp. It's rare, okay? Very few around, but they do it. Now, they value themselves and they respect themselves, and it shows on the outside. Everything that we feel or do or have on the inside eventually manifests itself on the outside in some way or another. Your body, a lot of times, I'm not saying always, in general, is a reflection of how you feel about yourself, how you value yourself. Do you take care of yourself? Do you eat well? Do you exercise? Do you know, when I was younger, all the women went to the beauty shop once a week. It was the normal thing. They wore dresses, they wore slacks. I'm not saying the women should wear dresses and slacks. My dad wore a uniform to work. He worked as a machinist at McDonnell Douglas. Okay, that shows that you value yourself and respect yourself. Or at least it does to me. And other people will respect you and value you more when they see that you care about yourself. So moving on to the woman. So you start looking at her as less valuable. She's not as valuable to you because she's not continuing with what she was when you married her. Okay, but you're still progressing. You're still doing and being the man that you were when she met you. And you continue to rise. I guarantee you are going to start looking around. And the woman's going to say, you should love me for who I am. But yet if you lost everything and you gave up on yourself, she would not stay with you or love you for who you were. Nor should she. Why should she stay with you? For better or worse, I wish that was the way it was, but it doesn't work that way. Now this may not be a very inspirational message, but I try to be realistic too. I do believe you create your world. Okay, so it's up to you. When you meet someone as a man, present yourself as you are and as you plan to be in the future, and continue to be that man. And the woman that fell in love with you, she will stay in love with you, because the man she fell in love with is the man she will continue to be in love with years down the road. That's it. That's all we got time for today. Thanks for joining me. See you tomorrow.